You've arrived. There is nothing to do now, nowhere else to go. The day has folded itself into quiet darkness, and the ocean waits, vast, unhurried, breathing in rhythms older than memory. Listen. The world is exhaling. The air carries salt and silence. Imagine the sea at night. The moon is suspended above it, patient and pale, a silver witness. The surface shifts and sighs, yet beneath it all, something deeper remains still. You can almost feel that stillness. It begins to echo inside you. Each sound, each distant thought, drifts away like a shell carried back into the tide. The hum of the day dissolves. The mind, which has been running for hours, slows, stumbles, rests its tired feet on the cool sand of awareness. Here, you are safe. Here, you are home. Rest is not a task, it's a returning. You are not failing to do enough. You are remembering what you already are. Every breath you take is the ocean recognizing itself, again and again. Let the body soften. The weight on your shoulders is only foam, transient, disappearing. You don't need to hold anything. You don't need to be anyone. Feel how the ground beneath you holds all that you've been carrying. The ocean never demands. It only receives. Thoughts rise and fall like waves. You don't need to chase them or calm them. Watch them crest and fade. Watch them return to the vastness they came from. Notice how awareness, the ocean beneath, never moves, even as its surface dances. This is where you begin to remember. You are not the waves of thought, emotion, or memory. You are the depth watching them come and go. Listen again. The sea is breathing with you. Inhale, the tide rolls in. Exhale, it retreats. The moonlight glides across your skin, and for a moment, there is no border between water and air, between body and sky. Only movement, only stillness. You are already within the rhythm of rest. There is nothing left to earn, no storm to resist. Just this slow, luminous now, the gentle awareness of being. You've arrived. Inhale. The wave rises. Exhale. It falls. This is the oldest rhythm in existence, the pulse that moves through tides, through clouds, through you. Before your name, before your thoughts, there was this quiet motion. Breathing is the body remembering the ocean it came from. Listen. The sea inhales, pulling the world toward its heart, and then exhales, releasing everything it gathered. You are not separate from this movement. The same current that stirs the water is turning gently within your chest. Feel it. Let your awareness rest in the soft rise of the breath, the slow ebb as it leaves. You don't have to shape it or count it or control it. It already knows how to move. Breathe in. The wave gathers itself, rising toward the light. Breathe out. It folds and dissolves, melting back into the deep. Somewhere in between, there is a stillness, a pause, like the sea holding its breath beneath the moon. That stillness is the doorway to peace. Notice how breath begins on its own. Even when your mind is distracted, it continues. Life breathes itself through you. It doesn't ask for effort or perfection, only permission to flow. You can let it. You can allow the universe to move as you let the air enter slowly. Feel it touch the edges of your lungs, expand the chest, spread warmth through your ribs. Then release. Feel the settling, the natural falling away. The air leaves without resistance, like a wave sliding back into its source. The body sways slightly, the way a boat moves when anchored in calm waters. There is safety in this rhythm, a tenderness. The breath is your tether to the present moment, your reminder that you are alive within the same pulse as the sea, the wind, the stars. You may notice spaces between the breaths, like quiet coves where thought disappears. Don't reach for them, simply drift into them when they arrive. These pauses are the ocean's way of whispering. Rest here. As you breathe, imagine the air shimmering like moonlight on the surface of water. It enters you, filling not only the lungs, but the heart, the hands, the small spaces behind the eyes. It moves outward again, carrying away what no longer needs to stay. Everything finds balance in this rise and fall. There is no border now between inner and outer, between the one who breathes and what is breathed. You are not apart from the tide. You are the tide. Inhale, the wave rises. Exhale, it falls. And you, vast and quiet, are the ocean watching its own rhythm unfold. There is a moment, right before the tide returns, when everything holds its breath, a soft suspension between effort and ease. It's here, in this pause, that you can let go. You have carried so much through the hours of the day. Plans, words unsaid, thoughts that tangled and tightened. All the small shoulds and musts that cling like sea salt to the skin of the mind. You've done enough. You've tried enough. Now, the ocean calls you to rest. Imagine that each worry, each memory, each expectation is a smooth stone in a small, heavy bag you've been carrying. You've walked with it for so long, you may not even feel its weight anymore. But now, kneeling on the shore, you notice the ache in your hands. You feel the pull in your shoulders. You know it's time. Gently, you set the bag down. You untie its knot, one quiet breath at a time. Inside, the stones glimmer faintly, each one a thought that once felt urgent, important, defining. Now they are only shapes of the past, cool and harmless. The tide begins to rise, touching the edge of your feet, one by one. The waves reach forward and wash over the stones. Listen to the sound, the soft hiss of surrender. Each wave takes a little more away, polishing what's left, carrying what no longer belongs to you. You don't have to push them away. You only have to watch them leave. Feel how lightness begins to spread through you, as if the ocean's breath is moving through every bone. The shoulders drop, the jaw releases, the hands rest open. There is space now, where effort used to live. The ocean doesn't strive to be vast, it already is. It doesn't cling to its waves, nor fear their passing. It allows endlessly. That same vastness lives within you. When you stop holding so tightly to what you think you must control, your own depth begins to reveal itself. Let the body remember what it means to belong to gravity, not as a burden, but as trust. The ground beneath you holds everything you've laid down. It has always been strong enough. You don't have to carry the world. You only have to let the world carry you. Notice the difference now. The mind is quieter, the breath softer. The sea hums its low, ancient lullaby. All that remains is the rhythm of being, gentle and effortless. You have set your stones upon the sand. The water has taken what was heavy. Nothing is lost, only transformed. You are still here, but lighter, freer, vast as the tide itself. Rest in this knowing. You don't need to earn your peace. You only need to stop lifting what was never yours to hold. And as the moon glows above, you realize you are the ocean, already complete, simply resting in your own stillness. There is a place between waking and dreaming, a quiet edge where the mind loosens its grip and everything becomes soft. You are standing there now, barefoot on the threshold of sleep. The air is cool, the sound of the sea a slow, endless breath. The sky and the water have begun to merge, colors dissolving into one another until there is no clear horizon. This is the space where boundaries fade. Thought becomes sound. Sound becomes light. Light becomes feeling. It is all one current, flowing through you and around you, without direction, without effort. Notice how the body has already begun to drift. The limbs no longer belong to gravity. They are floating somewhere between here and there. Even the breath moves differently now, slower, rounder, more like water than air. In this space, you don't need to think. You don't need to remember who you are or what came before. All of it, the names, the roles, the lists, they dissolve like footprints being washed from sand. Only awareness remains. You are the awareness noticing all this. You are the stillness behind every sound, the quiet watching every wave rise and fall. Awareness is not something you do. It is what you are. It has no beginning, and it will not end. Let that truth open in you, the way the sea opens to the moon. No matter how the surface shifts, the depth is always there, unbroken, untouched. Even when dreams arrive, awareness continues like the ocean watching its own reflection ripple in the dark. Sometimes, the mind will try to name this state, half asleep, half awake, but words are too small. This edge of consciousness is not a border. It is a blending, a dissolving of opposites, night and day, self and world, breath and sea. They are all part of the same unfolding. Listen carefully. There is a hum beneath all things, a vibration older than any thought. It is the sound of being itself, subtle, infinite. When you hear it, you realize it has always been here, waiting behind every heartbeat. As you drift, notice how perception expands. You begin to sense the world not from inside your head, but from everywhere at once. The ocean breathes through you, the stars flicker behind your eyes. There is no distance between what is seen and what sees. Awareness is the ocean, infinite and still, allowing waves of thought, memory, and dream to move across it. Each wave arises, sparkles for a moment, then falls back into the whole. Nothing is lost, only transformed. Even sleep is not the end of awareness, only its turning inward, like the tide returning to the depths. So, let yourself drift. You don't need to hold on to waking or to dreaming. You can let the edges blur. Let everything become one wide, breathing presence. There is no danger here, only the soft surrender of returning to what has always been true. You are not falling asleep. You are falling into yourself. You are the ocean watching its own waves fade into the horizon of quiet. And as you rest here, at the edge of consciousness, you are already home. The tide returns. You feel it before you hear it, a slow, deep pull beneath the silence. The waves reach forward, then withdraw, brushing gently against the sand, like breath against skin. This is the moment when body and world meet, when form greets infinity. Lie still and notice how the body listens. Every inch of it is a shoreline, soft, shifting, alive. The air moves across your face. The rhythm of your pulse echoes the sea's persistence. Even the smallest sensations, the whisper of fabric, the warmth of your own hands, are evidence of life reaching out to itself. This body is where infinity touches form. It is not a boundary, but a meeting point, a shimmering line where the unseen becomes tangible. The ocean doesn't end where the sand begins. It changes shape, becomes mist, salt, humidity, breath. In the same way, what you call yourself is simply where the universe takes a particular form, for a little while, to experience its own beauty. Let awareness travel slowly through this shoreline of being. Notice the crown of your head, light as foam, the shoulders drifting, rising and falling with the tide of breath, the chest, the place where water and air trade stories, expanding and releasing, the belly, calm and wide, like the deep, the legs and feet heavy with gravity, resting on the solid earth beneath. All of it, sea and sand, movement and stillness, belongs to the same whole. You may feel the body dissolving a little, softening its edges. The skin no longer separates you, it connects you. Through it, warmth passes, sound vibrates, light is absorbed and reflected. You are porous, open, infinite in both directions. Every heartbeat is the ocean's drum, every breath, a wave returning home. The body is not a cage. It is a threshold, a luminous coastline where consciousness and matter embrace. You are not inside it. You are around it, through it, beneath it. You are the vastness it floats in. For a moment, imagine the body as a curve of sand at dusk, the tide kissing its edges again and again. The waves never ask permission to arrive. They simply come and go, trusting the shore to receive them. You, too, can be that gentle. You can let life touch you and pass through you without fear. The body is where the infinite becomes intimate, the universe remembering its own skin. And as you rest here, you can feel it, the endless ocean moving quietly through the miracle of you. Somewhere in the distance, a single drop of water falls. It lands on the surface of the sea, vanishes instantly, and yet it was never gone. The drop was never separate from the ocean. It only believed itself to be. This is the great illusion, the sense that we stand apart, that there is me and everything else. But look closely, listen deeply. Where, exactly, does one wave end and another begin? Where does the sea stop and the sky begin? The edges blur, the lines dissolve, until there is only movement endlessly folding into itself. You were never apart, only pretending to be a wave. For a time, you rise, a distinct curve of form and name and memory. You dance in sunlight, gather color, reflect the world. And then you fall, not in failure, but in fulfillment, returning home to the vastness that has always held you. There is no loneliness in this return. There is only recognition. You have never truly left the ocean, even as you thought yourself separate. Your thoughts, your breath, your heartbeat, all of it belongs to the same field of being, rippling through time and form. Close your eyes. Feel the surface of awareness expanding, widening, softening. Notice how every sound, the hum of your breath, the echo of waves, arises within you, not outside you. Even what you call the world is happening here. Inside the boundless ocean of perception, the illusion of separation is tender, not cruel. It's how the infinite learns to look at itself, briefly, through the lens of individuality. Just as a wave curls to know its own movement, consciousness takes on form to witness its own beauty. And when it's done, it doesn't disappear. It simply relaxes back into what it always was. You don't have to fight to belong. You already do. You don't have to seek connection. You are connection. The air you breathe has been exhaled by trees, by strangers, by stars. Every cell in your body was once dust in another life, another form, another wave. Let that knowing sink in. You are not an isolated shore, but the sea itself, temporarily shaped as a name, a body, a thought. You are not drifting toward the ocean. You are the ocean remembering its vastness. So rest, little wave. You've journeyed long enough, believing yourself alone. Now, feel the tide pulling you back, not to erase you, but to complete you. You are still here, still moving, still infinite. And the ocean, wide and wordless, whispers, "Welcome home." Close your eyes. Let the surface quiet. There is still movement, thoughts flickering like small waves, voices of memory and imagination echoing in the shallows. But listen closely. Something deeper is here. Something that does not move, even as everything else rises and falls. Who watches your thoughts? Pause for a moment before answering, not with words, but with silence. Feel the question opening like a doorway, not a puzzle to solve, but an invitation to look inward. When a thought appears, "I should sleep, I'm still awake. I wonder what tomorrow brings." Notice it the way you'd notice a cloud crossing the sky. It drifts in, it drifts out. The sky doesn't chase it, nor cling to it. The sky remains unchanged. So, who is the sky in you? Who is the one that notices every passing shape without becoming it? You are not the thoughts. You are the space they move through. You are not the voice speaking inside. You are the silence listening. You are not the waves. You are the ocean beneath, vast and unmoved. Notice how, even now, awareness is steady. Thoughts may come in bursts or fade into nothing, but the watcher, the pure seeing itself, never trembles. It does not judge. It does not comment. It simply is. This is the stillness you've been longing for, though it has been here all along. Breathe slowly. Let each inhale carry you deeper beneath the surface, each exhale softening the need to hold on. Imagine yourself sinking gently into calm blue water. The deeper you go, the quieter everything becomes. Sound fades, time loosens, only presence remains. Here, in the depth of awareness, there is no story to tell. There is no you separate from what is known. There is only witnessing, clear, transparent, infinite. Thoughts rise like fish glimmering near the surface, quick, beautiful, temporary. You do not need to follow them. Let them swim as they will. The ocean loses nothing by letting its creatures roam. Who watches your thoughts? Who listens when you speak inside your own mind? Even when you dream, even when you sleep, awareness remains, quiet as the deep sea at midnight. It doesn't begin when you wake, and it doesn't end when you rest. It has always been here, the one constant amidst all that changes. Sometimes, the mind will try to claim the role of observer. I am watching my thoughts. But look closer. Even that I is another wave. Who sees that thought, and who sees the one seeing it? Follow this question not upward toward analysis, but downward, into stillness, into peace. At the very bottom, there is no answer, only awareness itself, self-shining, endless. It watches, but not as a person watches. It witnesses as being itself. It is not yours, it is you. Now, rest there, in the clear expanse beneath the mind, where nothing needs to be understood or named. Just pure, simple presence, vast, unbroken, eternal. This is the ocean beneath all movement, the depth untouched by storm. You are that depth. You have always been. You are descending now, slowly, gently, into the quiet beneath all motion. Above, the waves still move, still speak their silver language of wind and light. But here, as you drift downward, the sound begins to fade. The light softens, dissolving into shades of blue, and then into darkness so calm, it feels like sleep. This is the depth the storm can never touch. No matter how fierce the wind, no matter how wild the surface, the deep remains unmoved. It doesn't resist the storm, nor does it welcome it. It simply allows. Its stillness is not fragile. It is infinite. Notice how peaceful the darkness feels here. It is not the absence of life, but the fullness of silence. Every sound from above arrives faintly, softened by distance, as though time itself has slowed to a hum. You begin to sense the rhythm of something vast, not loud, not bright, but eternal. Breathe. Even your breath feels slower, denser, as if it too has entered the deep. There is no rush here. There is no edge, no direction, only depth. It expands in every way, not as a space to move through, but as a stillness to become. The deep never fears the storm, because the deep does not depend on calm to exist. It does not need to protect itself from motion. Motion cannot reach it. It knows the storm is only the surface, remembering its own energy. Imagine for a moment that your thoughts are ripples far above you. They shimmer and clash, creating patterns of foam, bursts of light, and yet none of it changes what you are down here. You remain vast, still, whole. Even the waves' noise feels like part of a distant dream. In this quiet, you begin to feel your own gravity, a center that does not need anchoring because it is the anchor. Awareness holds itself effortlessly. Every movement, every idea, every sensation floats within it, rises, fades, and is received without resistance. The deep doesn't chase light, it doesn't mourn its fading. It trusts the darkness because it knows light has not disappeared. It has only gone inward. What shines now is softer, deeper, not for the eyes, but for the soul. This stillness you feel is not something you created through effort. It is the natural state beneath the noise, the place that has always been waiting for your return. You don't have to hold on to it. Holding is what keeps you at the surface. Just rest, and it will carry you. Let go of needing calm. Let go of fearing chaos. Both belong to the same sea. Even the storm serves the deep by stirring its upper layers, keeping the dance alive. But here, beneath all that, the deep remains. You have touched this stillness before, in moments between thoughts, in the quiet after laughter, in the breath before sleep. It has always been you. The deep never fears the storm, because the deep never forgets what it is. You are that depth, and even now, The waves above move in your name. Everything quiets now. The waves above, the ripples of thought, the rhythms of breath, all returning to stillness. And in that stillness, you begin to see clearly. There is no you looking out at the world. There is only the world, looking at itself through your eyes, the ocean gazing into its own reflection. Every thought, every sound, every heartbeat is a shimmer upon the surface of awareness, momentary, beautiful, gone. What remains is the vast mirror beneath it all, unbroken, infinite, awake. You are not apart from it. You are not inside it. You are it. You are the ocean reflecting on itself, watching the waves rise and fade within the endless light of your own being. Now, let even these words dissolve. Only silence remains, a mirror too vast to hold anything but peace. Listen. Somewhere in the distance, the surface begins to stir. A breeze moves across the water, gentle, uncertain, and small waves start to form. They rise, tremble, fade, and rise again. This is how the mind moves too. Every thought is a wave, born from stillness, shaped by wind, returning to stillness again. A memory appears, flickers like sunlight on water. A worry passes by, small and fast, a dream, a plan, a forgotten name. Each comes, crests, and dissolves. No wave stays forever. The mind believes its waves are endless, but even the strongest storm must rest. Thoughts may feel loud, urgent, important, yet none of them last. They roll through awareness, and awareness remains. Just as the ocean is never harmed by its own surface, your being is never truly disturbed by its thoughts. Close your eyes. Let each idea, each word, each image appear and drift away. Don't chase them. Don't resist them. Let them roll in. Let them roll out. Notice how space, vast and quiet, holds them all. There is no need to calm the waves. They calm themselves when left alone. The sea doesn't order itself to be still. It knows stillness is already within it. So too with the mind. Peace is not something to create, but something revealed when you stop trying. When a thought arises, whisper to yourself, "This too is a wave," and watch. See how it swells, dances, fades. See how the awareness beneath never changes. Sometimes the waves are small and silver. Sometimes they are high and wild. Sometimes they vanish before you even notice. But all belong to the same water. All are made of the same element, consciousness itself. The surface of the sea may seem restless, but the depth does not mind. It allows every ripple its brief moment of light. So let your thoughts be free. They are visitors, not prisoners. And as you watch them come and go, you begin to sense the rhythm behind them, the rhythm that never ends, never begins, but simply is. That rhythm is you, the calm ocean beneath the restless mind, the witness watching every wave rise and fall, knowing no wave stays forever. Look at the surface again. The water is alive, rising, shifting, breaking into countless shapes. Each wave has its own rhythm, its own voice. And yet, they are all made of the same sea. Thoughts are like this. They come in many forms, small ripples of memory, tall waves of worry, slow rolls of longing. Some glitter softly under sunlight, some crash hard in the dark. But they are all just waves, movements within awareness. When you name them gently, they lose their power. Try it now. When a thought appears, whisper its name like greeting a friend. worry, regret, hope, desire, fear. Notice how the act of naming brings distance, not to push it away, but to see it clearly. You're not saying, "Go away." You're saying, "I see you." And being seen is all a wave ever needs before it can fade. Some waves feel heavy. They come with stories. "I should have done more. I'll never be enough." But listen, even these are just patterns on the surface. The sea doesn't judge one wave for being rougher than another. It simply holds them all. You can do the same. When a wave of anger rises, name it softly. Anger is here. When sadness visits, sadness is here. When joy flickers, joy is here. Each time you name it, you remember, this is not who you are. It's simply what's passing through. Naming is not controlling. It's allowing with awareness. It's how the mind learns to stop pretending it must fix everything it feels. Notice how the named waves begin to quiet. Without resistance, they lose their sharp edges. They roll back into stillness, leaving only ripples of peace. Even the waves you fear most, the ones that feel endless, obey this same law of impermanence. When you bring awareness to them, they soften, because awareness itself is love. And love does not fight with what it sees, it simply illuminates. Try whispering again, slowly, with breath. This is just a thought. This is just a wave. And let the sentence dissolve before the next breath arrives. One by one, the waves find rest. The sea smooths out, wide and shining. But even as the surface calms, you know that waves will return. And that's all right. The ocean does not fear its own movement. It trusts the rhythm. It knows the cycle. You are learning to trust the same. You are learning to meet each thought with compassion instead of struggle. Every wave is welcome. Every wave is allowed, because every wave is made of the same ocean. And you, the one who sees, are that ocean. The wind shifts. Clouds move across the sky. The ocean stirs again, a little louder now, a little wilder. Waves rise, tumble, crash, scatter. The surface becomes a dance of chaos and light, and still, the ocean remains whole. No one commands the sea to be calm. It does not wait for permission to move. It does not apologize for its storm. It simply expresses itself, fully, honestly, beautifully. Your mind is the same. It moves through seasons, through moods, through weather. Some days are smooth, glass-like, silent. Other days, the winds of thought and feeling churn, and everything seems restless. That is not failure. That is nature. Notice how you try to calm it sometimes, breathing tighter, thinking harder, judging yourself for not being still enough. But what if stillness doesn't mean silence? What if peace isn't the absence of movement, but the acceptance of it? When you stop demanding quiet, quiet arrives on its own. When you stop trying to hold the tide, it finds its rhythm again. The waves don't resist the wind. They yield, they dance, they let themselves be moved. And when the wind is done, the sea returns to stillness, naturally, effortlessly. You can smile at your own storms. When thoughts crash, when emotions surge, you can whisper, "Ah, here comes the weather again." There's humor in it, gentle, compassionate humor, because even the fiercest wave is still made of water. It cannot harm the ocean it belongs to. The mind has been taught to control everything, to fix, to plan, to perfect. But awareness does not need perfection to be at peace. It does not need the sea to stop moving. It simply recognizes that it is water, all the same. Try this. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean during a storm. Wind in your hair, rain on your face. You cannot calm the sea by shouting at it. You cannot flatten the waves by holding your breath. But you can open your arms and feel the power of it. The wild, beautiful energy of being alive. And in that moment, something inside you sighs, not in defeat, but in release. You realize that peace is not found by controlling the storm. It's found by remembering you are not separate from it. You are not the captain yelling orders at the sea. You are the sea, moving through weather, unchanged at your depth. Let the waves crash if they must. Let the mind wander, rise, and break. You can watch it all, knowing, beneath the noise, the water is still whole. And when the storm begins to fade, as it always does, you'll see how it has polished the surface, how it has stirred the depths, how it has reminded the ocean of its own vastness. The sea does not apologize for its storm. It simply lives its rhythm. And you, too, can live yours, free from control, free from resistance, resting in the truth that even your chaos belongs to something perfectly at peace. The storm passes. The wind softens. The surface begins to settle, each wave folding back into the calm it came from. The sea shines now like a vast mirror beneath the fading light. Beneath the movement, there is a silence that has never been disturbed. It was there before the storm. It was there during it, and it is here now, unchanged. This is the stillness beneath the mind, the depth that does not depend on calm, the awareness that has never been touched by what it observes. Let the surface move. You are the calm beneath. Close your eyes and feel it. There is breath, there is heartbeat, there is thought, and yet behind all of it, a presence remains. It does not sway with emotion. It does not tremble with time. It is the quiet watcher, infinite, unhurried, at peace. You may have mistaken yourself for the surface, believing every ripple, every passing storm was you. But even as thoughts came and went, something in you stayed perfectly still, perfectly aware. That something is not small or fragile. It is the entire ocean, deep beyond measure. It receives all movement, yet is moved by nothing. Notice how peaceful that feels, not because everything is quiet, but because awareness itself is unshakable. It doesn't need to resist the waves, it only reflects them. As the deep mirrors the surface, the mirror at the bottom of the sea is not made of glass. It is made of presence, clear, open, endless. Every ripple above is reflected perfectly, yet the reflection leaves no mark. Nothing sticks, nothing stains. The image appears, disappears, and the mirror remains as it always has been, pure, empty, alive. You are that mirror. You are that depth. The waves are your thoughts, the reflections, your experiences. But you, the still observer, are untouched. Let the surface move as it will. Let the mind think, the emotions rise and fall, the stories come and go. You don't need to chase stillness. You are stillness. This realization is not an effort. It's a remembrance. You are remembering what has always been true. Beneath every experience, beneath every identity, there is awareness, vast, patient, eternal. Sometimes the waves will roar again. Sometimes the surface will blur. That's all right. The deep doesn't forget itself when the surface moves. It simply watches, knowing that all storms pass, and the water, no matter how shaken, always returns to clarity. So, let go of managing the sea. Let the waves play. You stay here, in the calm that holds them all. You are the still observer, the quiet mirror at the bottom of the ocean, unchanged by what it reflects, unmoved by what it holds, forever aware, forever free. Listen. There is a moment after one wave fades and before the next begins. A quiet so complete, it feels like the sea has forgotten to move. This is where peace lives, in the space between, in the pause that holds everything and asks for nothing. You've been here before, between thoughts, between breaths, in the soft exhale where the world seems to stop for a heartbeat. No effort is needed, no sound, no meaning, only presence. Here, awareness is pure, unfolding without motion, without edge. Even the idea of calm disappears, because calm is simply what remains when everything else rests. Stay here for a while. Float in this pause. Let the next wave find you when it's ready. For now, rest in the space between waves, where silence becomes love, and love, the ocean itself. Night has deepened. The ocean lies still, its surface shimmering with a pale, quiet light. High above, the moon hangs, steady, patient, unblinking. It does not ask the waves to settle. It does not demand the darkness to end. It simply shines. The moon doesn't try to shine. It simply is. Its light travels across distance and time, touching water that never keeps it. Each ripple catches a fragment, bends it, lets it go. No matter how the waves move, the moonlight remains whole. This is how awareness works. It illuminates without choosing sides. It sees everything, the calm, the chaos, the shadows, the glow, and calls none of it wrong. It doesn't push or pull. It simply allows. You don't need to change what you see to be at peace. You only need to see it clearly. Look at the sea now. Every shimmer is a reflection, the mind mirroring consciousness, thought catching light for a brief, trembling moment. But the moon never loses itself in its reflection. Even when clouds pass, it continues to shine behind them. Awareness, too, remains, even when thoughts obscure it. You may feel at times that your light has gone, that clarity is hidden, that peace has dimmed. But that's only the passing of clouds. The witness within you does not fade. It only waits quietly, beyond the movement of the mind. Try this. Imagine yourself as the moon, silent, observing. Let the waves below rise, fall, glisten. You do not belong to their restlessness. You belong to the sky. You are not the change. You are what sees the change. This witnessing is not cold or distant. It is warm, compassionate, filled with understanding. Because to witness without judgment is the purest form of love. The moon does not scold the tide for rising too high. It simply shines on it. Soft, unwavering. You can shine the same way. You don't need to fix every thought or emotion. You can let them exist under your gentle light, acknowledged, accepted, illuminated, even when the sea grows wild, even when clouds cover the sky. Remember, the moon has never gone anywhere. It is still there, above it all, quietly reflecting the truth of being. The moon doesn't try to shine, it simply is. And you, too, are that light, wordless, eternal, witnessing the dance of waves without ever leaving the sky. The moon begins to drift westward. Its reflection trembles on the water, stretched thin by the slow, moving tide. The night is almost over, and still, everything glows. The beauty of impermanence is that it reminds us nothing stays, and that's what makes it precious. Because it ends, it glows. The wave shines brightest just before it breaks. The moonlight is most tender right before it fades. Every breath, every heartbeat, every thought, each one a brief flare of existence that disappears into the next. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost. All of it belongs to the same unfolding rhythm of becoming and releasing. Notice how the ocean accepts this constant change. No wave clings to its form. No tide begs to remain. They come, they go, radiant because they are temporary. Even the moon itself, serene and watchful, accepts its cycles. It waxes, wanes, disappears, returns, never mourning its own fading, never afraid of the dark. This, too, is awareness, a light that understands transience, that loves without possession. When you stop grasping at permanence, you begin to see the tenderness in endings, the way every goodbye holds the echo of having been, the way every passing moment contains a quiet kind of grace. Let yourself feel it, that sweet ache when beauty begins to dissolve, the sigh when a song ends, the hush when the sun sinks behind the horizon. These are the reminders that everything real is fleeting, and that's why it matters. In this world, nothing is repeated. Every wave is new. Every glimmer of moonlight is unreturnable. Each breath you take has never been taken before. That is what makes it sacred. So, when change comes, and it will, meet it like the sea meets the wind, with openness, with trust. You do not have to hold anything still. You only have to witness its passing with love. Because impermanence is not a flaw in the design. It is the design. Without endings, there would be no beginning. Without loss, no tenderness. Without time, no wonder. The moon lowers, the sky softens, the first hint of dawn touches the waves, and still, the light remains, not on the surface, but inside you now. A remembrance that nothing truly vanishes, it only changes form. Because it ends, it glows, and because it glows, you see the ocean, the moon, your breath, this moment, all shining, all passing, all perfectly enough. Listen. At first, you hear the ocean, a soft, endless rhythm. The water folds and unfolds, whispering secrets to the shore. Then you notice the space between the sounds, the pause after each wave, the hush that follows the breath. That space is not empty. It's full of everything. Silence is not the absence of sound. It's the presence of depth. It's the field that holds all music, the sky that allows every cloud to pass. Without it, nothing could be heard. As you listen more closely, you realize that even the sounds, the waves, the air, the distant hum are made of silence. They rise from it, dance for a moment, and dissolve back into it, like foam returning to the sea. Every sound exists because of silence. Every thought exists because of awareness. They are not opposites. They are lovers, one giving shape to the other, one allowing the other to be known. Breathe. Notice the quiet between the inhale and the exhale. That soft pause is a doorway. Step through it. Let yourself fall into the vastness that has no edges, no need to be filled, no desire to end. Silence is the deepest kind of music, a melody that never begins and never concludes. It doesn't perform, it reveals. It shows you what's beneath all movement, the infinite stillness that has always been here, waiting patiently under the noise. Even now, your thoughts might whisper, "Am I doing this right? Is it quiet enough?" And the silence answers, "Yes." Even that question belongs here. You don't have to fight the sounds around you. You don't have to close the world out. The trick is not to silence life, but to hear the silence within it. The hum of the fridge, the ticking clock, the breath in your chest. Each one contains a thread of stillness if you listen softly enough. Try hearing the space around sound, not just the sound itself. Notice how awareness listens, not with the ears, but with the whole being. There is no effort, no reaching, only openness, only presence. Silence is the background of existence, the canvas upon which all color is painted, the ocean beneath all waves, the pause that gives meaning to every word. It is vast, patient, and kind. And when you touch it, even for a second, you remember something ancient, that you are not a noise in the universe. You are the quiet that holds it. The sea sighs, the moon drifts lower, and everything slows to the rhythm of your breath. You are not listening to silence anymore. You are listening as silence. Every cell in your body hums with stillness. Every breath becomes the ocean's pulse. Even the smallest sound feels sacred, because it rises and falls within this infinite quiet. Silence is not empty. It's full of everything, of stars and waves, of breath and memory, of awareness and love. Stay here a while. No need to speak, no need to move. Let silence finish the sentence your mind could never complete. And as the night deepens, you realize the quiet you've been listening for was always your own. The moon is sinking now. Its reflection stretches thin across the water, then fades into silver dust. But even as it disappears from the sky, the night does not grow dark. Something continues to glow quietly from within. The same light the moon holds shines behind your eyes. Close them. Feel that faint shimmer in the chest, a warmth, a pulse, a quiet radiance that has nothing to do with the world outside. It doesn't flicker when the clouds come, and it doesn't depend on the sky being clear. It simply is. This is the light of consciousness, the inner moon that never sets. It watches through your eyes, listens through your breath, feels through your heart. It is not owned, not created, not destroyed. It is borrowed from the same source that makes stars burn and waves shimmer. You may think of yourself as a small being gazing at the universe, but perhaps the universe is looking through you, seeing itself reflected in the mirror of your awareness. Every life, every heart, is a window through which the same light enters form. That light is not separate between beings. It connects all things, the moon to the sea, the tide to the heart, the breath to the wind. Everything luminous speaks the same language. I am. Sometimes it hides beneath clouds of thought. Sometimes it's dimmed by sorrow or fear. But even then, it never truly fades. The clouds may pass, the light remains. And when you grow still enough, you can feel it again, soft as breath, steady as love. Put your hand over your chest for a moment. Feel the rhythm there, the quiet drum of life, the tide inside your body. That is the ocean's echo. That is light made audible. You don't have to search for illumination. You are made of it. You don't have to chase peace. You are built from the same silence that fills the sky. Even now, as the moon sinks below the horizon, its brightness lives on in the sea, in your heartbeat, in the stillness between thoughts. Remember this when the night feels long. The light within you is the same that guides the tides, the same that wakes the dawn. The moon may vanish from sight, but the shining never ends. It only moves inward, from sky to soul, from water to heart, from reflection to being. The same light the moon holds shines behind your eyes, and it has been waiting there all along, quietly illuminating everything you are. The moon has gone, but its light remains, resting gently on the surface of your mind. Awareness is like that, quiet, steady, soft. It doesn't demand attention, it simply exists, shining on everything without choosing what to love. Even when the sky clouds, even when thoughts ripple the surface, the light still waits, patient beneath it all. You don't have to become peaceful. You only have to notice the peace that's already there, glowing like moonlight across still water. Awareness does not chase or hold or judge. It only reflects the calm, the chaos, the changing sea, and through it all, it remains whole. Remember, you are not separate from that light. You are its reflection, its witness, its warmth. Awareness is the moon, silent, bright, and endlessly kind. Morning comes softly. The ocean glows faintly beneath a pale sky, and the sand, still wet from the night tide, holds the memory of every wave that touched it. You walk along the shore, each step leaving a mark, a shape, a story. The sand receives it all without resistance, just as life receives your moments, the joys, the stumbles, the unspoken words. But soon, the tide returns. The water reaches forward, slow and kind, and begins to erase what was left behind, not out of cruelty, but out of mercy. Everything you remember has already forgiven you. Every regret, every word you wish you could change, every silence that felt too long. They are all footprints in wet sand. They existed, they mattered, and then they dissolved back into the sea. Memory is not a prison, it's a shoreline. It holds what was for a moment, then offers it back to the waves. Even pain, once seen with tenderness, becomes something sacred, a soft mark the ocean carries home. Look behind you. See how the footprints fade. The story you thought was carved forever is already blurring at the edges. The sea is gentle that way. It knows that holding too tightly is not love. Sometimes, memory aches because it wants to stay. But the tide knows better. It whispers, let go. Not to forget, but to forgive. To understand that everything that has touched you has already been made whole again in the great turning of the water. You can breathe that truth now. You don't need to rewrite the past. You don't need to scrub it clean. The ocean has done that for you. Stand still for a moment. Feel the cool water reaching your ankles, the sand shifting under your feet. You are being held by gravity, by the earth, by time itself. Each wave that comes is a new beginning, and each retreat, a release. Life is always erasing and redrawing itself, and the beauty lies in that impermanence. Everything you remember has already forgiven you. The sea has taken it, softened it, and left only what matters, the tenderness that remains when everything else has washed away. Somewhere along the shore, the wind carries a sound, faint, familiar, almost like a voice you once knew. It's not really there, and yet it is, a memory, echoing across distance and time. Love leaves echoes, so does loss. And perhaps they are not two sounds, but one song heard in different ways. Even grief is made of love. Think of all you have missed, the faces, the laughter, the touch that has faded from reach. Each ache in your chest is proof that love once lived there. Grief is love with nowhere to go. It lingers like the tide after the moon has passed, still trying to return to what it once held. The sea understands this. Every wave that breaks is both an arrival and a farewell. It kisses the shore and withdraws again and again, never tiring of the endless meeting and parting. There is sorrow in that rhythm, and beauty too, because both come from love. You cannot have the sweetness of connection without the ache of its impermanence. You cannot truly love without someday learning to let go. And yet, letting go does not mean forgetting. It means allowing what was to keep flowing, to move from form into memory, from memory into silence, from silence into presence again. If you listen closely, you can still hear the voices of those you've loved, not as sound, but as tenderness. They live in the way you breathe, in the way you notice beauty, in the way you pause before speaking softly. Loss reshapes love. It doesn't erase it. It refines it into something weightless, invisible, eternal. The ocean holds every wave that ever was, not in form, but in essence. Just as your heart holds everyone it has ever touched. They are not gone. They've simply changed shape. Sometimes, you might feel that love has broken you. But look closer. The breaking is where the light entered. The cracks are where understanding breathes. Even grief, when seen with compassion, becomes holy because it shows how deeply you were able to feel. So tonight, if the tide of memory rises, don't turn away. Let it wash through you. Let it remind you that to love and to lose is to be alive completely. Even grief is made of love. Even longing is proof of connection. And the echo you hear, that soft sound calling across the years, is not a ghost. It's love remembering itself. The tide is returning. Slow, certain, unhurried. It curls around your feet, cool and familiar. The same water that once pulled away, now finding its way back to you. Forgiveness moves like that. Not in a straight line, not on command, but in gentle, rhythmic waves. You don't have to force forgiveness. It returns on its own. Sometimes, it takes a long time. The sea retreats far beyond sight, and you wonder if it will ever come back. But even then, beneath the horizon, it is already on its way. Forgiveness isn't something you do. It's something that happens when the heart grows tired of holding the tide back. It begins quietly, a small loosening, a single breath that doesn't ache as much as before. And from that moment, the water starts to move again. It doesn't erase what happened. The sea never forgets its storms. It simply softens the edges, turns the salt of pain into something that can heal. Sometimes, we think forgiveness means saying, "It's all right." But true forgiveness whispers, "It happened, and I release it now." It's not denial. It's a letting go, like sand slipping through open hands. When the tide comes in, It doesn't ask if the shore is ready. It just returns, because returning is its nature. So, too, does the heart. Even when you think you've closed yourself off, love keeps moving underneath, seeking every opening, every soft place where kindness might take root again. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's the sea remembering its depth, its strength that no longer needs to prove itself. It's knowing you can acknowledge the wound and still choose peace over bitterness. There will be days when the water feels still, when anger and sorrow seem heavy as stones. That's all right. Even the ocean rests between tides. Stillness does not mean absence. It means gathering strength to move again. And one day, quietly, naturally, you'll notice the tide has come back. You'll find that the ache has softened, that the name no longer burns when you think it, that you can breathe again without armor. That is forgiveness, not a moment of triumph, but the slow surrender to what's already true. You were never meant to carry so much. Stand by the water now. Let it touch your skin. Let it remind you that everything the sea takes, it also returns, washed, renewed, lighter somehow. What you release will not be lost. It will be transformed, because the ocean knows how to hold pain until it becomes peace again. You don't have to force forgiveness. You only have to stop fighting its return. Like the tide, it comes back, steady, patient, full of grace. And when it does, you'll see that it was never gone, only waiting for your heart to open like the shoreline at dawn. The tide has risen high now. The shoreline where you once stood is fading, washed smooth by the returning sea. Only faint traces remain, the echo of footsteps, the shimmer of old light on wet sand. This is how the story begins to dissolve. The self, the one you think you are, is not a solid thing. It's a story told in waves, a memory of a memory, a film that keeps replaying until you realize it was water all along. Imagine holding a strip of film in your hand, images flickering, faces smiling, tears falling, moments flashing like sunlight on the sea. Now place that film into the water. Watch as it softens, the colors melting into one another, until there are no scenes left, no frames, no edges, only motion, only light. This is not destruction, it's release. It's the truth revealing itself through the fading of illusion. The ocean doesn't carry a story about itself. It doesn't say, I am the wave that broke yesterday, or I am the tide that rose too far. It just moves, becomes, returns. So much of what we call self is this, a story told by memory and fear, stitched together by thought and time. But when you let the sea in, when awareness softens the edges of the narrative, you see how easily it dissolves. You realize you were never just one story. You were the space in which all stories appeared. You were the water that made the film shimmer. You were never trapped in any frame. The mind will try to hold on. It will say, but who am I without my story? And the ocean answers, you are what remains when the story rests. There's peace in that, not the peace of having solved everything, but the peace of not needing to. When the story dissolves, so does the need to prove, to defend, to become. What's left is presence, simple, quiet, infinite. Let the film unspool, let it sink into the sea. You don't need to remember every scene. You don't need to keep replaying how it all began. The story served its purpose. It brought you here, to the place where words end and awareness begins. You are not the story of your life. You are the life before the story. You are the stillness watching the tide erase the script, the witness who smiles as the pages drift away. And as the last frame dissolves into light, you finally understand. You were never lost in the movie. You were the ocean, patiently watching it play, waiting for the reel to rest. The tide has quieted. The moon has gone. Only breath remains. Slow, warm, steady. Inhale, the ocean enters. Exhale, the story leaves. Everything that needed to be seen has been seen. Everything that needed to be forgiven has already drifted home. You are standing at the edge of remembering, where footprints fade and silence begins. The sea smooths everything over, a gentle hand closing the day. Let this breath be the last echo of the past and the first whisper of dream. No need to reach, no need to hold. The body knows the way to rest. The ocean hums beneath your ribs, the pulse of life still moving quietly within you. Inhale, peace. Exhale, release. Let memory sleep now. Let the self dissolve into the tide. You are the breath, the sea, the calm. You are floating now. The shoreline has disappeared. The sound of the waves has softened into a low, endless hum, like the heartbeat of the world beneath you. The air is warm. The body grows heavier, then lighter, as though gravity itself has learned to breathe. You are not falling. You are being carried. Beneath you, the water deepens, dark blue, calm, infinite. The surface above begins to blur, its reflections melting into soft ribbons of light. Every inhale lifts you slightly. Every exhale lets you sink a little deeper, down into the quiet that waits below thought, below sound, below even the need to be awake. Buong min cho trong luk kuayen bin. Here, peace is not something to find. It is something that pulls you inward, like the tide pulling back to its source. You don't need to swim. You don't need to hold yourself up. You only need to allow. The deeper you drift, the slower everything becomes. Time loosens, edges fade. The self dissolves into softness. You begin to see light differently, not as brightness, but as warmth that fills the water itself. The boundaries between glow and shadow blur, until all of it feels like one color, serenity. Thoughts rise like bubbles, small, gentle, harmless, each one bursting quietly on its own. They don't ask to be followed. They just pass, shimmer, vanish. There is no effort here, no reaching, no remembering, just the gentle gravity of peace, drawing you down, down, into stillness. Let your body drift. Let your breath find its rhythm with the sea. Let your mind open, wide and luminous. You are not separate from the water now. You are not the one who floats. You are the floating itself. The world above grows distant, its sounds and shapes dissolving into quiet. Only the soft pulse of being remains, steady, tender, eternal. You are sinking below the surface, not to escape, but to return. To the calm that has always held you. To the deep that has always loved you. The light fades, but the peace grows brighter. Let go. Fall gently. The sea will catch you. The water around you darkens, not with fear, but with depth. Every shade of blue turns inward, slowly folding into silence. Then, somewhere far below, a shimmer appears, small at first, like the breath of a distant pearl. Then more, hundreds, thousands, each one a flicker of light suspended in stillness. The underwater stars, they don't burn, they glow. They don't move, they pulse softly, as though the ocean itself were dreaming. Even in darkness, awareness glows. You drift among them now, weightless, timeless. Every star you pass seems to remember you, as if it recognizes something familiar, something made of the same quiet light. You realize the stars above and the ones below are not separate. They are reflections of each other, mirrors meeting in infinity. The universe doesn't end at the surface, it continues through you. Fish drift like fragments of thought, silver, slow, unhurried, their tails tracing trails of light that fade as quickly as they appear. They are dreams passing through water, stories that never need to be told. You don't chase them, you simply watch. You have no need to name what moves. The movement itself is enough. Every breath feels deeper now, as if you're breathing light instead of air. It fills you gently, not with energy, but with ease. The deeper you go, the clearer the silence becomes. You begin to understand. Darkness is not the opposite of light. It is the space that lets light exist. Without shadow, glow has no meaning. Perhaps that's why the stars live here, underwater, to remind you that illumination doesn't require distance or fire. It can live quietly, inside stillness, inside you. You start to sense that the light within and the light around are the same. Every pulse of brightness in the deep echoes the rhythm of your own breath. The ocean and the body are breathing together now. One slow, endless inhale and exhale. And in that rhythm, something soft breaks open, not with pain, but with peace. You see how even the darkness holds love, how even the unknown is gentle when you stop fighting it. The underwater stars begin to move closer, not toward you, but through you. You don't touch them, you become them. You are the light moving through the deep, the shimmer within the silence. Above, the world of air and names drifts farther away. Below, nothing but grace remains. Even in darkness, awareness glows. Even in stillness, life moves. And in this endless depth, you remember, the sea has never been dark at all. It has always been full of light. You just had to see from within. You have drifted beyond sound. The surface is long gone. No horizon, no sky. Only depth, only motion too slow to see. Then, faintly, it begins. A vibration. Soft, low, steady. It's not quite music, not quite thought, but something between them, rising from the deep like a breath remembered. The voices of the deep, they don't speak in words, they speak in feeling, tones that touch rather than tell, melodies shaped like forgiveness. You can't translate them, but you understand them completely. Everything that was once painful is now song. The ocean sings not to be heard, but to remember itself. Every wave, every current, every shimmer in the dark is part of one vast harmony, a hymn of return. And you, the listener, are not separate from the song. You are the note the ocean has been waiting to sing. At first, you think the voices belong to something outside you, to whales, to wind, to ancient memories sleeping on the sea floor. But then, slowly, you realize the sound is coming from within. Your body is resonating with the water. Your heart is beating in time with the deep. The sea hums through your bones, through your lungs, through your dreams. It knows your sorrow because it has felt it all before. It knows your joy because joy is what it's made of. In this depth, there is no judgment, no right or wrong, no separation between the one who hurt and the one who healed. All stories lose their edges here. They dissolve into sound, and sound becomes peace. You can feel it, the old griefs loosening, the weight of memory lifting. Even the moments you thought you could never forgive are turning to light, to vibration, to music. The voices rise and fall around you, layered and infinite, as if every heart that ever broke were singing the same song at last. A song that says, you are still loved. You were always loved. There is no need to hold on anymore. The ocean holds you. It remembers everything for you, so you can finally rest. Every sound that once hurt is now soft, gentle, woven into the great harmony of being. Even loss has its place in the melody. Even silence has its note. The deeper you listen, the more the voices blend, until you can't tell where one ends and another begins, until you realize they were never many. There has only ever been one voice, the voice of life itself, singing you back into wholeness. Everything that was once painful is now song, and that song is love. Love without beginning, without condition, without need. You are floating in it now, not hearing it, but being it. Every cell, every breath, every shimmer of thought vibrates with the same note. Peace. Let it move through you. Let it dissolve you. Let it sing you home. There is no you anymore. Only the movement, slow, fluid, endless. The sea has closed around you, not to hide you, but to make you whole. What was once you begins to blur, edges softening, form unraveling into light and warmth. There is no longer inside or outside, above or below. Only one vast presence, breathing itself. This is not sleep. This is the ocean dreaming itself. Every current curls through you. Every glimmer of light belongs to your skin. You are not floating in the water. The water is floating in you. The pulse of the tide moves through your veins. The rhythm of the deep is your heartbeat. The boundaries that once held your name dissolve, like sand drawn back into the sea. You have never truly been separate, only pretending to be a wave so the ocean could see how it feels to move. Now, the dream reveals itself. You are both the wave and the water, the dreamer and the dreamed, the seeing and the seen. Everything is awake here, yet nothing is trying to wake up. Awareness is resting within itself, wrapped in its own softness, content to shimmer, to be. The ocean is not dreaming of escape. It dreams only of remembering, of feeling itself again in every drop, every swell, every quiet shimmer of existence. You are part of that remembering. You are how the sea knows its own vastness. Every thought, every life, every breath is a ripple of that same awareness playing with form and forgetting for a while, just so it can rediscover love when it returns. There is no need to hold on to identity here. Even the word I melts into stillness. The dream doesn't end. It simply realizes it's dreaming. Everything shines softly now, not from a source, but from being itself. You can't tell where light begins or where water ends. You can't tell if you're breathing or being breathed. All you know is that you are vast, vast and tender and eternal. This is the ocean dreaming itself, waves rising and falling within its own sleep, light folding into shadow, silence humming with life. And somewhere within that endless rhythm, a single thought drifts through like a whisper, I am. Then even that thought dissolves, leaving only presence, only peace, only the sea. Dreaming. Float now. The ocean holds you, nothing left to do, nothing left to understand. The waves breathe for you. The world hums beneath your ribs. Every thought has settled. Every name has softened. You are water. You are rest. You are home. Let the tide cradle you. Let the darkness shimmer around you like silk. Each breath is slower than the last. Each heartbeat lighter. Each moment dissolving into peace. The sea knows your weight, your shape, your story, and loves you just the same. Float now. The ocean holds you. Drift beyond memory, beyond dream, into the quiet where even time falls asleep. You are safe here. You are infinite here. You are the ocean, and the ocean is love. The night is not ending. It is transforming. What you called darkness was never empty. It was the womb of light in the deep where silence held you. Something began to glow, faint at first, like memory returning through water. Now, it grows. Soft radiance unfurling through the sea, threads of gold weaving upward, touching every current, every resting grain of sand. This is how light is born, not in opposition to darkness, but through it. The ocean doesn't fear the night. It knows the sun is only sleeping beneath its waves, and as the first warmth rises, you can feel it, a quiet stirring inside your chest, a pulse waking from a long, gentle dream. The light has always been there, waiting for you to become still enough to notice. You don't need to reach for it. You don't need to open your eyes. It's already blooming within you, like dawn unfolding behind closed lids. Every breath now feels like sunrise. Inhale, golden air fills the heart. Exhale, the world brightens a little more. The deep that once held your dreams now carries the first colors of day. Blue turns to silver, silver to pale rose, then to soft gold, rippling through the quiet water like music made of light. The ocean sighs, a sound like relief, like gratitude. The long night has given birth again, and you, carried by its rhythm, realize you were never lost in the dark. You were part of its becoming, the silence that makes dawn possible. Everything that rested in shadow now glows with meaning. Even the pain, even the sleep, even the forgetting, all of it fed the birth of this light, because light does not destroy darkness. It is what darkness has been preparing for. So let it rise. Let it touch your skin. Let it remind you that you are still here, still breathing, still alive in the gentle morning of being. The night gives birth to light, and from within that first glow, you awaken, not as who you were, but as what you've always been. The calm after the tide, the light within the deep. You are not moving, but something in you is waking. The body still lies in the hush of rest, soft, heavy, wrapped in warmth. Yet deep inside, awareness begins to stretch, like light returning to a quiet room. There is no effort in it, no alarm, no thought, no beginning. Just a slow, gentle unveiling, a soft bloom of presence within stillness. Awareness wakes up while the body sleeps. It rises not with motion, but with knowing. a knowing without words, without edges, the pure recognition of being here. You can feel the breath moving, but you are not doing it. It breathes itself. The air enters, leaves, enters again. A rhythm as ancient as the tide. In this calm, you realize awakening isn't something you achieve. It's something that happens the moment resistance dissolves. Like dawn spilling over the horizon, it needs nothing from you but openness. Stillness and wakefulness are not opposites. They are lovers, holding each other in perfect balance. Silence doesn't mean asleep. Motion doesn't mean alive. True awakening happens right here, in this unmoving peace that sees all things. The mind might whisper, "Am I awake or dreaming?" But awareness smiles. It knows both states are made of the same light. The dream and the dawn are not two. They are the ocean, breathing both directions at once. There's no rush to return. The body can stay heavy, the limbs soft as seaweed swaying in shallow current. Awareness doesn't need to lift them. It only watches, tenderly, like sunlight touching water. You begin to sense your edges again, the outline of skin, the warmth between heartbeats. But now they feel porous, open, part of something larger. There is a clarity here, not the sharpness of thought, but the radiance of acceptance. The knowing that you are both the stillness and the stirring, the dream and the dawn, the breath and the space it moves through. You are awakening without leaving rest. You are rising without breaking the calm. You are light remembering its source. Let this awareness stay soft. Let it shimmer quietly behind your closed eyes. Let it move through you like a whisper of morning wind. You don't need to open your eyes yet. You are already awake, in stillness, in grace, in the ocean of breath that never stopped holding you. The breath continues, soft, effortless. Inhale, the sea draws itself inward. Exhale, it releases through you. You are not breathing. The ocean breathes you. Every rise and fall of your chest is a wave folding into its own rhythm. The lungs expand like tides against the shore. Each breath a quiet remembering. You were never separate from this vastness. The air that fills you has traveled through mountains, through forests, through stars. It has circled the planet countless times, through storms, through silence, through the songs of whales and the wings of birds. And now, for this moment, it lives in you. You are the meeting point of everything. The ocean, the sky, the earth, the breath. All of it moves through you as one continuous act of being. The body is not a boundary. It is a shoreline where the universe comes to touch itself. With every inhale, the world enters. With every exhale, it returns transformed. You are not a visitor here. You are the movement itself. Notice how the breath asks for nothing. It doesn't demand. It doesn't rush. It simply gives, receives, gives again. A perfect cycle of surrender and renewal. The same rhythm guides everything. The ocean swells and falls. The moon waxes and wanes. Life expands and contracts in the same eternal pulse. And you are that pulse made visible. When you breathe in, the sea breathes in through you. When you breathe out, the stars exhale with you. Every atom of your body was born from ancient light, carried through water, whispered into form by the same force that moves galaxies. So breathe as the cosmos breathes, slow, patient, full of wonder. Let each inhalation remind you that you belong. Let each exhalation return your belonging to the whole. There is no out there. There is no in here. There is only the endless flow of being becoming itself. And when you rest in that knowing, when you feel the breath not as mine, but as ours, a deep calm unfolds, a peace older than memory, wider than thought. The mind softens, the heart opens, and for a moment, the entire universe breathes in harmony through you as you. You are not breathing. The ocean breathes you. You are not living inside the world. You are the world made of life. Inhale, the infinite enters. Exhale, love returns, over and over, the same quiet miracle, the tide of existence, moving without beginning, without end. Just this breath, just this sea, just this being. You are the ocean, watching its own waves. Every breath, every thought, every rise and fall, just movement upon your surface. Nothing to hold, nothing to fix, only to witness, as the water does, softly, patiently, endlessly. The stories, the dreams, the tides of feeling, they come and go, but they never disturb the deep. The deep remains, quiet and whole. You are that depth. You always have been. Sometimes you forget. You believe yourself to be a single wave, separate, fragile, struggling to reach the shore. But the truth waits beneath. You were never apart from the sea. You were never lost. Even the storm is made of you. Even the silence is made of you. Every drop belongs. When you look at the waves now, you see them differently. You see their beauty not because they last, but because they move. They live by dissolving. They shine because they pass. This is awareness, not control, not distance, but gentle seeing. A seeing that embraces everything and calls nothing wrong. You are the ocean watching its own waves, the witness, the movement, the peace beneath both. Listen, the world is still breathing with you. The same rhythm, the same song, no separation, no end. All that ever happened, all that ever will, just waves rising, waves returning. You can rest now. You can let the tide carry you wherever it will. For wherever it flows within you. The mind quiets, the body softens. Awareness widens like dawn over the water. And in that widening, you remember, you are not in the ocean. You are the ocean. You are the stillnesses beneath the storm, the calm beneath all movement, the silence that sings through every sound. You are the ocean watching its own waves, in wonder, in love, in peace. The waves have stopped speaking. Only stillness remains. The air is soft, like the pause between heartbeats. No need to move, no need to think. Just this quiet that holds everything. You can feel the night exhale. The stars fade, not gone, just resting in the light. The ocean breathes one last time, a sigh so gentle it could be your own. And then, nothing. No sound, no story. Only the hush of being, the space where even time forgets to move. Let the silence have you. Let it cradle what words cannot reach. You have arrived, not at the end, but at the still point where all things begin again. Breathe once more and fade into silence.